That is so cool. I am doing a couple little projects on the van today. As a reminder, it's a 2005 one-ton express van. That's about 712 feet long. I mean, look at it. It even takes a while to see to the back of the van. But anyway, what I'm doing today is this is coming out. And I'm going to, it's got a misfire on one of the cylinders, and I'm going to check all the connections for the coils and check the coils themselves and the injectors and the plugs and the wires. And we'll get it all done. When you open up that little glove compartment in the center there are 4 10mm bolts in the back of it. Take those loose, and then there are 4 little clamps. Let's just call them clamps. 2 down on there and 1 on each side up there. And the next thing you know, this thing just pulls out. However, you have to disconnect the 4 bolts on the bottom of this seat. I know that sounds like a lot of work, but it's really not. It's 4 18mm bolts. They come right out. And the seat, you don't even have to undo any plugs. Just scoot it back a few inches, and then that cover will come right off, and we'll be looking right at the engine, and we'll have so much access to everything. I'm getting ready to undo the bolts over here. And see that? I got an amp. Huh. Torture tested lightning audio bolt. Well, considering it's free, I can afford that. Awesome. Now this is when you have to ask yourself something. What am I wanting to do while I'm in here? You have a camshaft position sensor right in here. You have access to the plugs, the wires, the coils, so much stuff. So that'll have to be your own decision that you make on that. But what I have to do is get up in here and check out every coil wire. Now I'm sitting here letting it run for a while. The codes that I received on my little handheld $20 jobby right here were 135, 300, and 449. I've already bought some stuff through Amazon, and I'm getting ready to pop on the parts today. One of them's part of the evap canister system. Another one is the engine coolant temperature sensor. And the third one is an O2 sensor, bank 1, barefoot. Bank 1, and it's the first one, so it's going to be in front of the catalytic converter on this side. I'm going to let it shut down for a while, and then get in there and change out that O2 sensor and the evap canister down under. Now I know that some of you guys like to take your vehicles to little oil change places, and that's awesome. However, I'd rather go ahead and do it myself, because I know exactly the intervals between, you know, getting that fresh oil, and I know exactly what sort of oil goes in. Every vehicle that I have runs on synthetic with no exceptions, and I go, unless it's crazy high miles, I go with the stock viscosity. Maybe as it gets a little older, I'll get online and I'll see what a few people in a particular forum think about going 1 notch thicker. But as of for now, this little thing goes away, and it's going to run synthetic from here on out. Flash forward, I already put the evaporator canister module thingy poo on the bottom of the van. I also have a new O2 sensor in there. Now, on a vehicle like this with 250,000 miles on it, you're occasionally going to run into a situation where the O2 sensor is just hopelessly welded into the bung, and it ain't going to come out. So basically what I did, I went to a buddy of mine's exhaust shop, and he plasma cutted a hole in the Y-pipe, put a new bung in, and we put the O2 sensor in that. So that's always an option if you want to save yourself some time and money. I'm going to take this back out, put the number 2 coil on, and then fire it up. Check for codes. Flash forward about 1 minute later, you can see there I've removed the coil. It's 2 little 7mm bolts or screws right there, just 1 on each side. Very easy to remove. You don't need to take off the whole bracket. Just disconnect it from the coil and that little plug on the top, that one right there, and it comes out. There are 2 basic coils that come with LS engines. This one that they call the round one, and then there's another one called the square one. And you can just, once again, look at what's on the motor. That tells you what you need to buy. I only got a code for 1 being wrong, so I'm not going to mess with. This is all about low buck, so we're just putting 1 on. I'm kind of surprised this came with some dielectric grease. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the tower there, and a little bit on the plug Yeah, if it's free, might as well use it. This was the cheapest one I found on eBay. No, actually on Amazon. It was under 20 bucks shipped. So let's pop it on there and see if it gets rid of the code. All right. Seems to be running smoothly. No check engine light. Codes. Wait, does that say no codes? Guess I won't be using that erase button this time around. Hit the gas a couple times. See if you can make it hit the code. Now, I don't know what that little wrench in the corner is for with the oil thing, because the oil level's fine, but I'll check that. Do a quick little Google search. But just looking at the engine, it seems to be smoother as it's sitting there idling, so I think we may have, yeah. No check engine light. Check this again. No codes. Looks like we're done here, people. That's pretty sweet. Quick little note before I put this cover back on here. As I told you before, this would be a really good time. If you look down there at that oil sensor there, that's the one, the larger of the two, the one on the left. That one right there is a little wet around there, so I might go ahead and replace that. Just to the right, the one with the white plug on it there, of the two with the bolt going to it, that's your camshaft position sensor. And LS engines do need those now and then. The good news is they're crazy cheap, so look around on Amazon and stuff and see if you want to swap that out. But you see, it's like right there. It's so easy. Besides that, you've seen where the coils are, the plugs, the plug wires, and various stuff like that. So if there's anything else you want to address while you're in here. But the good news is, once again, this is not a big, bad deal to get up under here. So I'm going to put the cover back on, take it for a test drive. And she's purring, guys. Running absolutely great. No check engine light. I have an ABS that is on, and I'm going to have to look further into that, but no check engine light now. Everything seems to be working the way it's supposed to, and the power's there. The idle feels great. There's no vibration on takeoff. And that was the cheapest coil that I found on Amazon, and it got here the very next day. We have an Amazon, what do they call it, a fulfillment center, really close to the house, and stuff gets here so quickly with our Prime membership, but not trying to give them a free ad. I don't think they need one. But here I am cruising in it, and it's driving absolutely great. So thanks for going along with me on this little journey. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I don't know if I'm going to use it to haul stuff, or I'm thinking about going to an automotive swap meet here in about a month. It would be the first weekend in December of 2022. But right now, man, it's running great. I'll come up here to a straight stretch and stomp it. See if we have any noticeable increase in horsepower. There we go. Launch! 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. And if you're a member of law enforcement, I'm of course referring to kilometers per hour. Man, it's running great. It is running so great. You can tell it's a 1-ton suspension with zero load in the back though, because this thing is bouncing. I think I kicked butt. Quick update on the C6 convertible that I replaced the whole front end on. I just got it picked up from a buddy of mine's shop. He has a lift, and everything that I've seen and heard is that it's kind of a bear to change out a harmonic balancer or harmonic dampener from a C5 or C6 without a rack. So I had him do it. He gave me a great deal and everything, and now I'm driving it back for the first time. It's so much better, so much nicer to not hear that squeak all the time, and knowing that it's not rotating on the crank, that's a little maddening. But man, it's running great. This LS2 in here is so smooth, and the transmission is so perfect. But I'm going to take this back to the house. I use one of those Power Bond, I think maybe they call it. It's available through Summit, little about 200 bucks ish, something like that. And got a new bolt as well. But man, totally happy with it. So thanks to the guys at D3. I'm gonna probably do a burnout up here, but it's been raining, so there's no glory in a burnout in the rain. I'm not gonna do one. I'm gonna save that burnout for a time when it will be much more impressive. But once again, thank you guys for watching. Now I know how them guys in Star Wars felt when they hit hyperdrive fast in this Plaid. When they hit Plaid. Wait, that was Spaceballs.